You want to know why I look upset? Los Angeles, you want to know why I'm tired of this bullshit at PCW Ultra? A star like me has to get on a plane and fly across the whole United States to wrestle who? Douglas James? Just the sound of his name means literally nothing. He's dust in the wind. He's a guy that couldn't make it. He couldn't get over if he had a Hogan stash, a Macho Man jacket, and a Ric Flair woo! But that's what we're going to be hearing tonight, DJ. We're going to be hearing a lot of woos. A lot of woos at the sound of me chopping you to bits. Chop after chop. It's meat chopping time.
Breathe in, breathe out. We're standing on the edge now. This is the moment that we came for. And now we're going it alone. We just want to know, we just want to go into the unknown.
Wrestle Summit weekend is here, and this is the final stop before the next two history-making nights at Washington Hall. This is Mutiny. Mike Simmons here with you, and while we hope you had a great Thanksgiving dinner last night, trust me, there's no leftovers to be had at Wrestle Summit 2. It all goes down tomorrow and Sunday in Seattle, Washington. Limited tickets are available right now at defywrestling.com. Tomorrow night, Jake Atlas defends the Ultralight Championship against Ironheart Douglas James. But we're going to take you back to Into the Void, where DJ faced Brian Pillman Jr. in a grudge match with that title opportunity at stake. On the call, the voices of PCW Ultra, Todd Kennelly and Christian Cole.
Talked about the relationship between PCW Ultra and other top promotions around the world. Certainly that's the case with Major League Wrestling MLW. And here you see again the Promise Prince, Brian Pillman Jr., and certainly a personal rivalry with Douglas James.
Not only is this match absolutely a grudge match between Douglas James and Brian Pillman Jr., but it's a story about two men who have had careers absolutely explode in 2018 and 2019. A battle of attrition coming up. This is one you'll want to sit on the edge of your seat and hold on, because this match is going to be awesome.
Douglas James still holds the record as the longest running and reigning ultralight champion in PCW Ultra history. Took on many of the best during that title reign, including current NXT Cruiserweight champion Lio Rush. And now has signed as well with MLW, but since returning to PCW Ultra after what many thought would be a career-ending injury, he's really been sidetracked by Brian Pillman Jr.
Sidetracked, distracted. You could talk about all the storylines that have led up to this between these men. Certainly a dramatic development taking place this year between Douglas James and Pillman Jr. But if there's anybody that's going to call the action down the middle in this grudge match, it's our senior official, Rick Knox. My God, a super kick to start this match off. Douglas James, accurate and precise, right on the button.
Yeah, that hip injury, nothing wrong with the flexibility of the hip there. As the hybrid wrestler Douglas James going upstairs, now downstairs. Tweener's looking for a powerbomb to kick this thing off. Are you kidding me? That just goes to show you how personal this rivalry is, and the stakes are high here, Christian Cole, because the winner of this matchup will go on and gain a title shot at the PCW Ultralight Championship.
Right, and that's what I was talking about. It really becomes a battle of attrition. It becomes a battle of will. Which man wants this most? Later tonight, in a featured matchup, we will see Daga versus our champion, Jake Atlas, in the lightweight division. And the man who wins this match, whether it be Brian Pillman Jr. or Douglas James, will get a shot at the winner of that match. Whomever holds that title will defend against one of these two great stars.
Brian Pillman Jr. and Douglas James have faced off in a one-on-one encounter in the past in PCW Ultra. It was Brian Pillman Jr. earning the victory, but he did it in somewhat dubious fashion.
Of course, folks, if you want to see that championship match, we will be selling tickets through the months of November and December of 2019 for our show, A2K4, our 4-year anniversary coming up January 10th, 2020, as we enter a new decade, as PCW enters a new era.
Promise Prince getting a little ab work in there, some sit-ups along with the count. Pillman Jr. certainly full of himself as he goes for the lateral press, but he can certainly back up that bravado.
You think about the men who have held this ultralight championship that these two men are vying for as they try to become #1 contender. You think about men like TJ Perkins. You think about Douglas James, who held that title, as Todd Kennelly alluded to moments ago. Beautiful double underhook by Brian Pillman Jr.
Not to mention Mecha Wolf 450 and the International King of Swerve cover here by DJ.
I think some people would prefer we don't mention Mecha Wolf 450, but that's another story.
Into the cover. Deep hook of the leg. And back and forth action. Again, you got to go for the quick win here if you can get it, and have that relatively low mileage heading in to that eventual title competition.
It's a great point, Todd. Look at that wrist control on both hands from Brian Pillman Jr., using the foot to create leverage and stomping the back of the head. James really pulling that left shoulder up, though, trying to make sure there's no count from Rick Knox.
But as a hybrid athlete, Douglas James with an MMA background, so going to be no stranger to wrist control and how to try and counter and defend.
And boy, what an MMA fighter Doug James was, working in camo across the state of California, earning several victories as a fighter here.
Douglas James all kinds of fired up. Oh, what a spinning back fist there.
Shades of human tornado. Pimp slap back fist by Brian Pillman.
Pimp hand was strong in that exchange. Pillman now taking over the advantage. What a matchup. Went a long way for that, didn't he?
And much like we saw moments ago from the shocking arrival of Ruby Reyes, a slap right to the face. Douglas James looks like he has no idea where he is. But a little possum from James, stands up and getting about 6.5 feet of elevation on that drop kick. James getting pumped up.
Signature stuff there by DJ, putting on the brakes. Uh-oh, you're not safe anywhere. Swing and a miss by DJ. Did miss there, big super kick, now full head of steam. You remember it was Douglas James with that suicide dive that got him in trouble the first time with that injury, but how about that drop kick moments ago that drop kicked the world, as he says.
We've seen Douglas James literally drop kick the world in 2019 after suffering a career-threatening injury in 2018. He came back relentless. He came back with an iron heart. But tonight, will he be able to defeat Brian Pillman Jr., whose father was a member of the Hart Foundation? Will he be able to take out the rising star? Will he be able to earn himself a shot, much like we saw earlier tonight from Hammerstone?
Big knee, and you can see that the legs went weak there rocked. And now the Meteora charging in was Douglas James, looking to cement himself and get back in competition for that Ultralight Championship he held longer than anybody and almost got him there. You mentioned Brian Pillman Jr. and his dad, part of the Hart Foundation here in the bright lights in Southern California. Pillman Jr., a bit of a Hollywood blonde as well.
I'll never forget that segment we saw on WWE television many years ago when Pillman pulled out a 9mm handgun and threatened Stone Cold Steve Austin with it. Junior, an apple that hasn't far from the tree. That's a cover there, Todd. In on the outside leg, and only 2. But
it's Pillman Jr. is firing with the heavy artillery here with a shot at the Ultralight title on the line. Got just enough of that power slam and basically dropped down into an elbow drop as well on the way down to secure the cover. Got to think that perhaps as they prepare themselves for Ultralight title competition, you think Daga and Jake Atlas taking a look at this thing?
Absolutely. Monitors all across both locker rooms in the back.
He was looking for the dire promise. Sorry to cut you off there, partner, but he could have put him away had he hit it. Nicely scouted by Douglas James.
James is in a bad spot here. That's really precarious. James hit with the cutter by Pillman Jr. Will this be it? Will he become #1 contender? Oh my God, that was so close.
Just a sliver of these bright lights between the mat and Rick Knox's hand. This thing was almost over, elevated into a reverse neck breaker. All the body weight comes crashing down, and Ironheart had to live up to that moniker to preserve his chances to fight on in this #1 contenders match.
And what an eye by All Elite Wrestling's Rick Knox, who was only a shaving away from counting 3.
Oh, just going completely limp here is Douglas James out on his feet. Well, not anymore.
Wow, this does not look good for Douglas James. You can be as relentless as you want. You can have a heart made out of iron or steel or mercury for all I care. And when you're in a ring getting stomped out by Brian Pillman Jr., who clearly outsizes James, you have a lot to fight back from here.
You know, that's an excellent point. Pillman Jr. is certainly on the large side for the ultralight division. You know, he probably has to cut down just a little bit to make weight and then rehydrates. I mean, he is huge for this division and really putting that on display here, muscling around Douglas James.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Now that was close. Whoa, look at Knox, a veteran at officiating, able to avoid. And oh, damn, heads colliding. Center of the ring.
They clash, and it looks like Douglas James got the better of it. Double stomp into the cover. Pillman Jr. might be out. So close. Oh, look at this. Out of the frying pan, into the fire. Crossface. Digging down deep, wrenching on the neck.
That crossface is in deep, Todd. Wrist tape across the nose, blocking some of the breathing ability of Brian Pillman Jr. Douglas James looking for a submission. Douglas James hoping for a tap out. Douglas James creating more leverage.
Wow, pushed off the ropes. What a heads-up move. How much more fight does Brian Pillman Jr. have? He's been locked in this for an ungodly amount of time. The now look at this. Seizing the arm.
James using the left arm of Brian Pillman Jr. And Pillman, look at that. Just inches, just toes. His little piggies helping him to continue in this match.
What does Brian Pillman Jr. have left after that? Just being tortured in that crossface by Douglas James. But again, when you go for the submission and don't get it, that takes a lot of starch out of you as well.
It does, and you can see the limping of James as he attempts to gain speed in an attack mode, but James is hurt. This match is wearing on him, and James gets hit with that super kick as Pillman Jr., like a vulture, able to be the scavenger, taking out and picking apart the bones of whatever's left of Douglas James.
You would expect DJ to have the home field advantage, but Pillman Jr. not without his supporters as well, and I think that it just goes to show you that the respect for that family legacy.
This is a bad spot here. James caught up in that top rope.
Dire promise elevated. That's gonna do it. No, preserves his chances. Wow, what a heads-up move there by Douglas James to find that rope. Instincts, luck, call it what you will.
Pillman Jr. electing to hook the inside leg, perhaps not the best move there, as the outside leg able to swing over onto that bottom rope. I'm not sure if he had hooked that outside leg, if Douglas James would have been able to get that shoulder up. James is still on the canvas, definitely moving.
Devastating dire promise as Douglas James, could not defend it out of that position. Now off the top, nobody home for the big swanton.
And that's got to take all the air out of the lungs of Pillman Jr., who eats that beautiful kick. Picture perfect. Look at the absolute gorgeous way of Douglas James.
Incredible. Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you, relentless indeed as he was known before. Ironheart indeed. Never say die attitude, because he was able to rally back from that dire promise. An absolute flurry and onslaught of kicks. Look, he's in position. Eat your heart out. The big reverse frog splash. Deep hook in the leg. DJ does it again.
Douglas James, once again, the #1 contender for the PCW Ultralight Title. Douglas James shows up and Into the Void, and Douglas James does it again.
Dove into the void with that big eat your heart out frog splash. What a match, back and forth. Both competitors showing their instincts, their veteran wares. And in the end, DJ doing what he's done so many times here in the Ultratorium. He'll have his hand raised in victory, and this one's gotta feel good, righting the wrongs of their previous encounter for DJ. And not only that, but earning a shot at the Ultralight title that he held so proudly for so long.
Douglas James was told he would never wrestle again. Douglas James was told he may never walk again. Pillman Jr. looked to stand in the way of Douglas James. And now James has a date with destiny as he will face off for the Ultralight Championship.
There's no easy way out, there's no shortcut home, but DJ finds himself right at home next time out with a shot at the Ultralight title.
Douglas James is on a mission to reclaim the top spot in the Ultralight division. We'll bring you never-before-seen comments from Into the Void by the champion Jake Atlas in just a moment. But still to come, Mil Muertes takes on the King of Swerve, Strickland, for the Ultra Championship. That and a whole lot more as Mutiny rolls on right after this.
In Japan, we have embraced many things from the West. We honor them. We celebrate them. And master them. In return, we offer something for you to enjoy. Sapporo, Japan's oldest beer brand, now brewed and enjoyed around the world. And our way of saying,
Arigato.
You can relive the fall classic of PCW Ultra, Into the Void, anytime, anywhere on PCWOnDemand.com. Witness the all-out war between members of Warbeast and Outlaws Inc. Catch the in-ring return of Hammerstone and the absolute classic between Daga and Jake Atlas for the Ultralight Championship. That and so much more available right now at PCWOnDemand.com. We want to send a huge shout out to the band Odd Palace for The Unknown, which is the anthem of PCW Ultra Mutiny. It's available on Apple Music, Spotify, and streaming outlets everywhere. Next week on Mutiny, we'll show you Sumi Sakai's first Ultra Woman title defense when she took on the Lady Death of Warbeast, Victoria Vaughn. And the World Warrior, Low-Key, takes on Drago from PCW Ultra's first anniversary bash, Phantasm. Anniversary 2020 comes your way from the Ultratorium in Wilmington, California, Friday, January 10th. Get your tickets right now at PCWUltra.com. A handful of match announcements have been made on social media, so let's catch you up. The war between Outlaws Inc. and Warbeast will be settled at Anniversary 2K20. We've seen them collide in I Quit matches and dog collar matches, but there's only one way to settle the score. These two teams will be locked inside a steel cage. A couple of massive debuts face off in this one. Killer Cross takes on the Masterpiece, Chris Masters, in a battle of two heavyweight bruisers. And the Ultra Championship match is set. Mil Muertes defends the title against Hammerstone. But will Hammer walk into Anniversary 2K20 with Defy gold around his waist? We'll find out this Sunday at Wrestle Summit.
That belt is mine. Everyone knows that belt is mine since the day I stepped foot in Washington Hall. I'm not going anywhere. I'm the king of the North, the baddest motherfucker in pro wrestling. Witness me. You have those people that no matter how many times you try, they're still just that pain in the ass, and that is you, Shaft.
I just want to get your reaction to Hammerstone after the...
Fuck Hammerstone. Because no matter how many times I roll into town, the people are talking, the people want to see me. Hammerstone is fucking trash. Halfway through a match, you walk out and disrespect me, you disrespect the fans and the people that came and paid hard-earned money to watch a fight. I wrapped a chain around his neck. I drug his ass all over Portland like he was my bitch. He did nothing. Because you beat me in Portland in the dog collar match. That's it, huh? You showed the world that you could beat me. And you thought it was all over, Shaft? Well, what did I have to do? Los Angeles, PCW Ultra, Nightmare Pendulum, and I showed the world that I could beat you too. And then, after my match, you come and jump me like some thug. I showed up, I beat you up, that's what I like to do. I like to beat you up, Shaft. I like to smack you around. I like to get the people riled up. And I showed them one more time that I can knock you on your ass.
This is my fucking era. This is my fucking house. And every single time you come to Washington Hall, you're gonna witness Shaft kill.
Everyone's saying King of Swerve's house. It's saying it's Artie's house. Bullshit. It's Shaft's fucking house. Now it just so happens that you got this fancy championship, the Defy Heavyweight Championship, and well, I want that. Time again. You just keep jumping my ass. Well, now it's me and you for that title at Wrestle Summit. And he thinks that he can come in here and take what's rightfully mine, and there's no way in hell that is happening. So you beat me. I don't give a shit. I beat you too. Rubber match, Wrestle Summit. It's on, motherfucker. I'm gonna beat him again. It's gonna be no different. And this time, 1, 2, 3, but your title is on the line. Defy is mine. This belt is mine. This shit isn't going anywhere.
Wrestle Summit Night 2. Shaft, Hammerstone, the Defy Championship. Superstar Jake Atlas defends the Ultralight title against Ironheart Douglas James tomorrow on Night 1. Let's get some final words from the champ.
Douglas James, go DJ, go DJ, go. Douglas James,
That name has haunted me for the past 3-4 years. Douglas James, you are the #1 contender for my PCW Ultralight Championship. You and I have had very few words to exchange, but I'm gonna tell you this. Come the next time I see you, this is not about this anymore. You want this? Try and take it. For me, it's so much more. You and I go way back. You stabbed me in the back. You talked behind my back. And you think that these are things that I don't know, Douglas James. But I'm gonna tell you this. I just beat the living crap out of one of the world-class athletes in professional wrestling in Daga. You want to claim to be the best of PCW Ultra? The next time I see you, I'm gonna prove to you why it doesn't matter who's the best. It's gonna matter who has the better killer instinct. You're done.
An intense, focused Jake Atlas heading into tomorrow night. Anything can and will happen at Wrestle Summit. And we're gonna take you back to the main event of the inaugural summit, where Shane Strickland defended the Ultra Championship against the man of 1,000 deaths, Mil Muertes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next contest, your main event, and it is for the Ultra Championship.
Making his way to the ring for this main event matchup, there you see him, Mil Muertes, the man of 1,000 deaths. We've seen some big physical competitors in the history of PCW Ultra, the likes of the Effin' Machine, Brian Cage, Hammerstone, Jeff Cobb come to mind. But this guy is an absolute monster who poses an enormous threat to Ultra champion Shane Strickland.
Mil Muertes, a legend in Lucha Libre, a legend in Southern California. And anybody who was able to watch the El Rey Network and that awesome series, Lucha Underground. And
wait, who is this hooded figure?
I don't know.
Maybe an apostle of Muertes?
It doesn't say accompanied by on our format, and I'm not sure. Certainly Mil is aware of that character on the outside. It seems as if they came together.
Mil Muertes, Lucha Underground champion. He's a 20-year veteran. Could cause a variety of damage.
I'm honestly still wondering who that guy is.
It's something that the champion's going to have to contend with as well, but Swerve doesn't sweat a whole lot.
You know why he doesn't sweat that much, right?
Why is that?
Because ain't nobody do it better.
Should have seen that coming.
I can't help but dance to the champ's music.
It is rather infectious, and there you see the Ultra champion, the international king of Swerve, Shane Strickland. Whole lot of buzz around the champion. And what an incredible run he has had here in PCW Ultra when you think about the fact he is a former Ultralight champion, but he never lost that title.
Smell something burning? I do. I mean, I'm not joking. Shoot.
Shane Strickland never lost that title. Decided to go up in division to take on the Ultra champion Penta El Cerro Miedo at Believe. Took the title home. And speaking of big physical competitors, the likes of Mil Muertes, at Anniversary 2K19, Shane Strickland coming off of a victory over the effing machine, Brian Cage.
That burning I was talking about was the souls of all these ladies in the building as they watch the King of Swerve in all of his sexy man awesomeness. That is the PCW Ultra champion. And what a run it's been for him thus far. Hasn't been without gold in over a year here in PCW Ultra. First it was the light heavyweight title, now he's got the Ultra championship around his waist, and Shane Strickland ain't going anywhere.
Strickland won the title from a legendary masked luchador in Pentel Cerro Miedo, and now he's got to face one in Mil Muertes. Ultra championship on the line in our main event. Big fight feel here at Wrestle Summit.
Look at the size of Mil Muertes, staring a hole through the back of the champion. And look at the confidence exuding from this brilliant professional wrestler, Shane Strickland. And everyone should feel honored to be in the same building with this man today. It's like a Floyd Mayweather type of feel when he comes into the building.
It is. I mentioned big fight feel, but a unique matchup and a very, very tough challenge here for Swerve. Because look at this, Swerve soaking up the adulation of the crowd, but staring daggers through him is Mil Muertes. He hasn't taken, the challenger has not taken his focus off of the challenger. Let's head into the ring to set the stage for our main event. Take it away, Dan Masters.
Wrestling fans, this contest, the moment we've all been waiting for. It is your PCW Ultra Wrestle Summit main event of the evening. From the PCW Ultratorium, your official in charge of the action when the bell rings is senior official Rick Knox. Introducing first, our challenger. He comes to us from beyond the grave, as seen on Lucha Underground, weighing 215 pounds, Mil Muertes. His opponent is our current reigning and defending Ultra champion from Tacoma, Washington, weighing 203 pounds. He is the international King of Swerve, Shane Strickland. One fall for the Ultra Championship.
Stage is set for our main event, Ultra Championship on the line as Strickland, the champion, defends, taking on Mil Muertes. Muertes, a man who has won championship gold all around the world. Puerto Rico, Mexico, looking to take home the Ultra Championship. Not going to be an easy task.
You can see almost a look of concern on the face of veteran official Rick Knox, who has seen it all. And I think it's the poise of Mil Muertes, who hasn't moved an inch since before introductions, as if his feet are in cement like a statue without being intimidated even in the slightest. Mil Muertes will challenge for the PCW Ultra title.
Muertes remains deathly still. Mil Muertes from beyond the grave, right here into the Ultratorium. Look at this, not even turning to face the champion. And again, mind games aplenty here by Muertes.
I'm a bit surprised to see that Shane Strickland has a bit of height on Muertes. Having watched his career in Lucha Underground, I mean, he still is a massive individual. You can see that on display in his traps and triceps muscles. And look at now, goozling the champion.
Yeah, you could show a movie on the back of Muertes, that's for sure. Shots now by the champion, and Muertes not moving, not budging an inch. Height advantage for the champion, maybe size and strength. I don't think so.
I'm flabbergasted at watching Mil Muertes, who still hasn't lifted a toe in this match, and yet is in control.
Yeah, yet he's dropped the champion twice in the opening seconds. Big haymaker there by Muertes. And the champion Strickland kisses the canvas yet again. Muertes now picking up the pace and just deposits the champion to the outside like yesterday's news, and that might be what Strickland becomes if this continues.
As Strickland gets dumped out of the ring, that right shoulder hitting the ring apron. Just a bunch of metal beams under there, and Strickland already taking damage in this match, looking to create separation by using that guardrail against Muertes.
Strickland looks frazzled here, Christian Cole, which is not something you often see. Reaches for a chair. I mean, desperate body language right now by the champion.
Yeah, and the challenger's body language displaying almost a nightmare-like scenario, reminding me somewhat of the body language of Michael Myers as he just stalks Shane Strickland around the ring, 5 months removed from Halloween.
And that shrouded figure remaining on the outside. We still don't know the identity of whoever that may be. And you're right, much like if you're in Haddonfield trying to run away from Michael Myers, he will find a way to get a hold of you, much like Muertes did to Strickland.
Mil Muertes making his debut and getting a PCW Ultra Championship shot tonight. Certainly to the credit of his resume at Lucha Underground. Dom Vitale and the committee here at PCW Ultra thought it was best to put Shane Strickland up against a true monster, a real heavyweight in this industry, Muertes.
Muertes may be a riddle that Strickland doesn't have an answer for. Muertes completely manhandling the champion thus far. Strickland now using his speed to try and create some distance, and he does. And if anybody can figure out Muertes, it will be the International King of Swerve.
Swerve just innovative coming into the ring. So quick, but a counter power bomb by Mil Muertes. And now digging in with some ground and pound from the top. Those big rights and lefts, dropping bombs on the champion Strickland.
Strickland went for a Hurricane Rana or a head scissors and just got stuck by the power bomb. And now just getting tossed around and ragdolled some more by the challenger Muertes.
Some of the fans really appreciating the luchador Muertes as he comes in tonight. Now actually misses there, missing and hitting that ring post with his shoulder. You could see him wincing under that mask. His body language absolutely changed. As soon as he hit that corner post, everything changed for Muertes, and he might be injured, Todd. What a terrible time to get injured right in the middle of this championship match.
Single leg pick attempt here. Good luck with that, trying to get this monster off his vertical base. But Strickland did just that a minute ago by springing back in with a low drop kick. Strickland doing a good job of using the ring as an ally right now. The champion follows in and puts that knee on the dissection pan.
And this is what I love about Shane Strickland. So smart, so cool to the touch. This guy can do anything he wants, whenever he wants, including using the ropes and the environment around the ring to his advantage. Brilliant by Shane Strickland.
Challenger hobbling around a bit now, and now it's the champion that's stalking the challenger on the outside, at least for the moment. But Muertes is so powerful, Christian, that a single shot can turn the tide.
That's exactly right, but as I said earlier, ever since that pole, ever since slamming his shoulder right into the corner post, Muertes has not looked the same. And Shane Strickland now going to continue to use the environment around the ring to his advantage so that he could retain his Ultra Championship.
Muertes may have hit his shoulder, but it's his lower body that is the issue right now, as the champion sending that inside thigh and knee right into the unforgiving steel post. And the champion Strickland finds himself in a fight the likes of perhaps that we've never seen here in PCW Ultra.
Well, he's never faced anybody quite like Mil Muertes, and Muertes comes in really unscouted. I mean, we haven't seen Lucha Underground televised in over a year now, and frankly, it's not very easy to scout a Mexican star of the level of Mil Muertes. He's going to come out of nowhere. He's going to do whatever he wants to do to get a victory, but right now, it's Shane Strickland going back to some mat-based wrestling, a submission, as he's looking to get some maybe small joint manipulation on that right hand.
Well, and the biggest factor is getting the big guy off his feet. There's not going to be a flatliner from here, from this position by Mil Muertes. If you can get him horizontal, that's a big step in the right direction for the champ. Pinpoint strikes continue to absolutely eradicate that knee of Muertes.
And underneath the mask, you could see the pain in the eyes as he winces. Certainly the identity of Mil Muertes covered, but you could still see the emotion and pain in his body language. And speaking of masks covering up one's face, there's still a guy just standing on the outside of the ring, completely covered up, just spectating.
And you got to remember, as Strickland now going for the mask, remember how Strickland won the title from Pentel Cerro Miedo. That flash just pulled the mask off of Penta, caught him, got at the inside cradle. I mean, it wasn't without controversy, but certainly a genius move. And so Strickland perhaps going to employ a similar strategy as that hooded figure continues to loom on the outside.
Who is this man? I mean, maybe he just wanted a front row ticket for the best championship fight this weekend in pro wrestling. Maybe he just wanted to watch the match up close.
We don't know man or monster, or what, we don't know what.
Those were man hands, Todd. I know man hands. I have man hands. You don't. You have little dainty lady fingers. Nice
jawbreaker there. Beautiful counter by the champion. But again, it's desperation. It almost has that era of last-ditch efforts by the champion, which we're not used to seeing out of Strickland.
That's exactly right. But the confidence not wavering from Shane Strickland. Still confident as he looks to deliver these big right hands to the downed Mil Muertes. Champion has been controlling the challenger for a number of minutes now. Rick Knox pleading with Shane Strickland to let go of that mask, and he's just ignoring him.
Pulling the challenger around by the mask. Yeah, if Strickland has his way, Muertes will have one foot back in the grave and the other one on a banana peel. Counter though by the challenger. Yes, into the DDT.
Mil Muertes able to get that DDT right in the center, spiking the champion on his head, and Shane Strickland looks a bit dizzy as he's trying to shake off the cobwebs. Boy, oh boy.
Much needed breather here for the challenger, who was getting smothered by the champion for the last several minutes. Muertes back to his feet. That does not bode well for Swerve.
Mil Muertes, those deep clotheslines on our champion, who just gets back up immediately, trying to continue this fight. The movement of Mil Muertes just tells the story. He's so calculated, so precise.
Countered the clothesline that time though, did the champion. Look out here, TKO, and it might be a total knockout of the title reign of Strickland. Here's the cover, history to be made, not yet. Back and forth action again, that's what Wrestle Summit has been. It has just been a contrast of styles, of promotions, of talent, and just worlds colliding, and that's what we're seeing with the richest prize in PCW Ultra on the line in our main event, partner.
And if I'm not mistaken, PCW Ultra, in its matches it's participated in tonight, we are undefeated. We are 3-0 on the evening.
Well, doing well. I mean, Douglas James did not win his matchup, but certainly looked good. I mean, we'd have to go back through the card, but right now we got to stay focused on this Ultra Championship matchup. What a German suplex by Strickland. Where did he find that? Digging down deep, popping the hips, taking the big man up and over.
Look at Strickland, unbelievable. Surpassing Muertes and coming back with a back kick to the back of the head.
Muertes reaches for the ropes. And we talked about desperation for the champion throughout. How many times do you see this monster have to get the safety of the ropes to break up a pinfall? That tells me that the challenger in trouble as well. Great matchup back and forth.
We've seen him slow down significantly since he missed that spear and went right into the corner post. And when you get hit on the neck like that, it can take it out of your legs, it can take it out of your breathing. And Mil Muertes has been just not the same man since that point in the match.
Yeah, but if you watch Lucha Underground, this guy rose from the grave several times. He's back beyond the grave to try and take home championship gold. Nice shot there in the corner by Strickland. Tries to take over the advantage in this championship matchup. Eats a big shot and crumbles to the canvas. The champ in trouble again.
The sweat exploding off the head and face of Shane Strickland with that beautiful right hand from Mil Muertes. As Muertes now jumps in. Incredible by Mil Muertes.
That's got to be a case of deja vu for Strickland. That's one of the favorites of Petel Cerro Miedo. Something that Strickland would have had to encounter in the past.
Beautiful counter by the champion Strickland. It seemed as though Mil Muertes was going for some sort of a pop-up power bomb, and Strickland with that missile drop kick from midair.
Strickland using those long limbs to his advantage there. But Muertes starts to stir. He just doesn't stay down, the challenger.
We watched the body language before this match from Mil Muertes as he stood like Michael Myers, like a Frankenstein monster without any intimidation whatsoever, without being intimidated. And now in this match, he's able to come back and fight back, showing the perseverance of this great luchador.
Muertes maybe gonna switch gears and go high risk here. You talked about the height advantage of the champion. He doesn't have it right now. Challenger has the upper ground, at least for the moment, and Strickland trying to chop the big tree down. Ultra title hanging in the balance.
Referee Rick Knox trying to talk some sense into these guys, keep them out of the corner. This is a dangerous area. You could be knocked out from a collision at this height.
We might see that happen. Big shot upstairs. Challenger was in danger of losing his balance and taking a good fall off the top. Does Strickland have the power here to take this big guy up and over? If he's thinking superplex, he's gonna have to dig way down deep. From the penthouse down to the basement, floats over. Into the front face lock, holding on. A champion looking for more here, Christian.
Shane Strickland displaying his strength. Muertes with the counter. Look at Mil, my God, what an Uranagi! Incredible!
Folding the champion up. Strickland is not moving. He is limp, he's dead to rights. History to be made, no. Digging down deep, talk about back from the grave. Same could be said for the champ.
I thought that was it, Todd. Shane was not moving. Apparently hearing the 2 count on instinct. That shoulder springing up at the last second. Shane Strickland saves his Ultra Championship. But he is in a horrible position right now. Si se puede chance from our Latin X contingency here at the Ultratorium.
Muertes not without his support in the house as well. Incredible electric main event, shot after shot now. As Muertes, for a big heavyweight, he just keeps moving forward. It's like fighting Bane when he's all jacked up on Venom.
It's a great point. He looks a lot like Bane, actually. Super jacked. The mask is similar in a way. And just a total psychopath, really. I mean, I don't mean any disrespect. It's one of the best qualities you can have as a heavyweight contender. What's this?
Resourceful there was the champion. I think he caught him right in the eye.
But did he spit in his face? I didn't see what happened there. Rick Knox certainly didn't see it either.
Well, it took the challenger off the hunt. That's the most important thing. Counter elbow, though, now by Muertes. It's both champion and challenger. Oh, no! Spear Knox!
Nasty spear on the wrong man, and the official's down.
Well, I'll tell you what, that certainly opens Pandora's box in this thing. Roll through into the cutter by the champion. Here's the cover. There's 1, 2, 3 and 4 and beyond, but it will not count. No official to make the call here.
Incredible development in this match.
It's an extremely tough break for the champion, who now could have had perhaps a 20 count.
Who would have thought that Swerve Shane Strickland would have had this match won, and Rick Knox would be unconscious on the side, certainly reeling from that spear, maybe the wind knocked out of him, not in a position to make the count.
And the man of 1,000 deaths is absolute dead weight right now as the champion struggles just to pull him around, get him in position to maybe go for the Swerve stomp. But again, with no official to make the count, I guess this will just be an insurance policy to keep the challenger down.
Goes for the Swerve stomp. He misses though, Todd. May have twisted an ankle a bit there, and look at this. Just dumped unceremoniously to the outside and eats a huge right hand, does Shane Strickland, and now,
oh, no way! Whoa!
My God!
What a plancha there by the big man!
But did Mil tweak that knee? He certainly favored it as soon as he hit that over-the-top dive.
Well, Christian, think back to the earlier portions of this matchup, all that residual damage. The champion went to work on that leg for quite some time, and now Muerte is paying for it.
Wait a minute. What is this? What? You just referenced that man to the outside, and back to our championship action. I don't know what that was, but it felt strange.
Certainly seemed that the challenger acknowledged that hooded figure.
Yes.
Some sort of gesture there. But this championship match continues as now Strickland depositing the challenger out to the outside. Gonna get a bit of a takeoff strip here. Big shot. Wow.
What a vertical leap from Shane Strickland, not only moving his momentum up over the guardrail, but forward 6 to 8 feet, drop kicking Muertes into the third row.
Getting that runway and hurdling the guardrail, as you mentioned, into that drop kick. And again, there's no danger of a double count out at this point because the official is still completely knocked out, courtesy of a Muertes spear.
It's a great point. Rick Knox may need some medical attention as he ate all of that spear from the 250-plus pound luchador Mil Muertes.
And normally, as it stands, the officials allow quite a bit of leniency in these Ultra Championship matches, but now, times a million in this thing, there is no official.
And Swerve just took a chair from the crowd. And this is a championship match. Some technical difficulties there as the light went out.
Is it? I mean, downright things get spooky when you got
it is a little weird.
You
could feel it in the building. Mil Muertes is a strange character, and this man on the outside just creating some sort of a weird ambiance in the building today.
Champion with that equalizer, trying to...
How is that an equalizer?
Dim the light. Well, it's about as close as you can get. Spear now.
God.
Well, he took out the official. Now he takes out the champion. And if Muertes covers and there's no official, I guess we got ourselves an unofficial 2 out of 3 falls match, and they'd be tied up 1 apiece.
Yeah. Fans are getting really antsy. They could feel no end in sight here with the referee down, and multiple times this match was in jeopardy of ending without any official to officiate.
This is the last thing the International King of Swerve needs is Mil Muertes with a chair. And I don't think Strickland's going to be able to swerve out of the way of this.
What is Mil Muertes going to do with that chair? And how is that fair? Is he talking to this man on the outside?
Almost seems to be offering the champion up to this hooded figure. Getting more questions than answers. I mean, fans, we're doing our best. But the champ, you gotta respect the heart, the fight, the willingness to survive and fight on here by Strickland. He didn't hit it the first time, Christian. Here we go.
Oh my God! What the hell was that?
That Swerve stomp, it took him right into a fireball.
Much to the chagrin of these PCW Ultra faithful, a fireball to the face of our champion.
Oh, the flatliner by Muertes. Knox starts to stir. Not this way, son of a bitch!
What just happened?
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner and new Ultra Champion, Mil Muertes.
No! What? This has been the biggest night in PCW history, but where do we go from here?
I am in utter shock and disbelief.
Fingerprints of their dominance are all over Wrestle Summit 1. But will we say the same thing after Wrestle Summit 2, when Warbeast, Joseph and Fatu defend the Ultra and Defy tag titles against the Cunninghams and the American Guns? And will Hammerstone put down Schaff one more time and take the Defy Championship? Who will leave Seattle as Ultralight Champion? Superstar Jake Atlas or Ironheart Douglas James? We can guarantee that history will be made over the next 2 nights at Washington Hall. Next week on Mutiny, an international showcase between Drago and Low Ki, as well as Sumi Sakai versus Victoria Vaughn for the Ultra Woman title. For our entire crew, this is Mike Simmons, and we'll catch you this weekend at Wrestle Summit.